Hey Sagittarius, welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I'll be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, and abundance reading for the month of January 2020. We're also moving into a brand new year, a brand new decade, and I'm already starting to feel a little bit of anticipation, excitement, and a tad bit of overwhelm for you too, Sagittarius. I hope you are having a good month of December, depending on when you're catching this. I'm going to be using my white tarot deck for your readings for January. I will also clarify with my Radiant Rider-Waite tarot deck, as I always do. And then I will end your reading today with a Wisdom of the Oracle card. All right, Sagittarius, so let's move right into the reading. Now, I'm already starting to definitely get some power moves that are starting to take place for you, Sagittarius. I have to say, with this Emperor card showing up right away, that tells me that there's a lot of things that are being set in place that are going to benefit you. However, you may not see these benefits right away. I'm getting the sense that foundation-wise, things are definitely being set up. However, there's going to be a little bit of a waiting period. Okay, so just trust that things are starting to grow, things are starting to move. However, there's a gestation period for everything. Nothing happens instantaneously, and that's what I'm getting right away as we start pulling cards, or as cards really literally start flipping out for you. So what else do we need to know? Ooh, for the sign of Sagittarius, as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of January in the new year 2020. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. Let me make sure that we've got everybody in frame here. Okay, Sagittarius, so we've got the Emperor upright, and then we have the Empress, Five of Wands, Two of Wands in reverse, Judgment upright, very good, very powerful, and then the Five of Cups in the reverse. Like I said, things are already starting to be put into place for you to grow, for you to move forward, and I'm really feeling like there's an underlying strength that really just has not been tapped into yet. Now, it's not because you're not looking to grow, and you're not looking, or it's not that you're not looking to take that next level or that next step, but the circumstances have just not been right. Things have not really been set up in a way that will allow you to flourish and allow you to grow. And I say that to say, because as we move into this new month, as we move into this new year, as we move into this new decade, all of that is about to change. We have the Empress card here. Now, remember I talked about things taking time to grow, things taking time to develop. You're definitely going to be going through a period of that. And because this is in the reverse, that tells me things have already started, okay? The seed has already been planted. So there's nothing really more for you to do other than just allow the process to take place at its own pace. Allow things to develop in their own way and in their own time. We have the Five of Wands here, where you may have had some communication issues recently. Those will definitely subside as we move into January, especially in the workplace, whether it's, business relationships or maybe something with coworkers or colleagues. You know, there could have been some friction there. That's all going to smooth itself out once we move into the new month. We also have the Two of Wands in reverse here. Now this tells me that you may have been thinking about making some big changes, and you've decided to put those ideas or those plans on hold, at least temporarily, because there's some other things that need your attention right now. Now is not the good time for you to really consider a big move or a big transition, because you've still got some things that need your time and need your presence and need your attention. Judgment card in the upright position. This tells me that decisions are definitely being made in your favor. And these could be business related decisions that you have an indirect influence over. Okay? So while you may not have the final say about a certain situation, just know that the way things kind of fall into place, it's going to benefit you in a big, major way. So get ready for that. And this is what I'm talking about. It's like, don't feel like you have to constantly do, or hustle, grind, take super massive action. There is a time for that. However, as I look at this first row of cards, the time for that is not right now for you, Sagittarius. You've done all the legwork. You've done the planting of the seeds. Now it's time to just allow things to develop at their own rate. Finally, we have this Five of Cups here in the reverse. You're really letting go of some emotional things that may have given you some, I want to say they've kind of made you feel a little emotionally all over the place. And you've decided to let that go, and not feel guilty, not have regrets, not, be so overly concerned about what other people are thinking or how they're thinking or what they're doing or their opinions. You're really kind of moving into this unapologetic confidence. And that's a very, very strong trait for you to have, considering everything else you're going through as we move into January, Sagittarius. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? For the month of January 2020. What do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as we move into the new year, January 2020? What do we need to know? Okay. All right, Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, like I said, big changes are definitely coming your way. Now, what's interesting too is like a lot of these are changes that you are actually initiating, Sagittarius. This is not you, quote, being the victim to circumstances. This is you literally making big changes for yourself. We have the King of Swords in the upright position. We have the Five of Pentacles reverse, Eight of Pentacles upright, Tower upright, and then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. King of Swords, this is an energy of literally cutting away the unnecessary, removing yourself from certain situations that are just not working, that are just not paying you, that are just not worth your time and your attention. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. This means you've had a shift in mindset as it relates to money. You've definitely kind of moved on and graduated and leveled up from poverty mindset or limited thinking. You're starting to expand your awareness, which brings new ideas and new opportunities and new ways of doing things. You've kind of been set in one track, but you are starting to really move into a new bigger, expansive way of thinking, especially as it relates to money and finances. And because of that, you're going to see work starting to come in. You're going to see workflow increase. You're going to see there's going to be more demands on your time and your attention. There's going to be more people wanting to hire you, more people wanting to work with you, more people wanting to consult with you. So just get ready for that. Now we have the Tower card in the upright position. Again, I'm seeing this, Sagittarius, as something you are making the decision to do. You are making a big decision to literally transform and get rid of everything and really move forward in a big, massive way. You have no problem being patient. You have no problem putting things in place to do what you need to do, and you have no problem cutting things off or literally tearing something down and then starting to rebuild from scratch. As a matter of fact, Sagittarius, I feel like this is something that you want to do because you're ready just for a fresh start. You are ready to rebuild yourself. You're ready to rebuild your future, and you don't care what has to go. You just know things need to go. People need to go. Circumstances need to go, and you have no problem getting rid of them. We have the Knight of Wands here. This means that there could be some shifting, physical shifting, movement in your, I want to say in this phase of your life right now. The Knight of Wands is all about energy that moves, but the Wands is also about grounding. So it could be that you are ready to move, in a physical location. You could be transferring, relocating, changing residence, changing jobs, moving to a new office, maybe transferring to a different school. Whatever the case may be, there's definitely going to be some physical rearranging in your life in some way. This is probably going to happen roughly in the 2nd to the middle of January. So get ready, Sagittarius, because movement is definitely coming your way. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify. What else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of January 2020? What do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as we move into this new year? Okay. All right, Sagittarius, 7 of Swords, reverse, Hierophant in the upright position. 5 of Wands, reverse. Remember, we saw him here. 3 of Pentacles, upright, Strength, upright. Interesting, because we were really tapping into your strength during that beginning of the month, and you're really going to have to dig deep as we move into that 3rd week of January, but we'll get back to that. So let's look at this 7 of Swords in the reverse. This means that there is probably something or someone who may have the word distrust is coming to me. There was someone that you know in a professional capacity who may not have been the most trustworthy person. However, that situation has been dealt with. If you haven't dealt with it yet, it will come up and you will deal with it and you will be better off for it. Sometimes there's certain people around you on your team or in your life who are just not exactly the most ideal person for you for where you're at certain stages in your life, and I'm feeling like that's what this is all about here. The good thing is that that card is in the reverse. So like I said, this is probably something that you've recently dealt with or that you're kind of in the process of dealing with, and it's slowly phasing itself out of your life, moving away, and it is kind of releasing the negative influence that it may have had on you. So the good thing is that this is over, or it soon will be, and you're better off for it. You've grown, you've developed, you've made some hard decisions, but really you've done what's best for you at this stage in your life, especially as it relates to your money. Now we have the Hierophant here. This is all about having some ideas of an authoritative nature, or it could also be something coming into play as it relates to your spirituality or your morality. Just depending on, again, where you are in your path right now. Sometimes when I see this card in the upright position, it tells me that you're you're kind of going in a more spiritual direction as it relates to work and money. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get a job, being a priest or something like that. But it just means that sometimes spiritual influences will definitely have an effect on some of the decisions you make and some of the ways that you are choosing to make money at this time. It could also be that maybe you're on a spiritual path or a religious path, and that's giving you more clarity as far as how you want to continue on in your work life, how you want to make your money, or the certain people that you associate yourself with. There could be some networking groups or business colleagues that you may connect with, maybe in a more spiritual way, but then you find that the connection kind of develops into a professional connection as well. So just be open to that. It's very, I'm getting the word nurturing for you at this time. And it's also something that gives you more opportunity and more possibilities that you just did not think of or did not consider. Now we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. Again, we saw him up here. So there's going to be some conversations again, people giving you their opinion, giving you their 2 cents. And you've kind of already made up your mind. That's why this is in the reverse. You don't really need any additional input. You're ready to move on. You're ready to move forward. But just know that there's going to be people around you who want to have their say and who want to let you know what they think and who want to try and leverage some little bit of control as far as what you're doing or how you're doing it. But, your mind's already made up. So this becomes more of a nuisance than anything else. We also have the Three of Pentacles, and again, that Strength card. You're definitely being recognized for your potential, for your talents, for your experience. And the other cool thing, too, is that you don't really have to prove yourself. It's like your level of professionalism and your level of skill has already been established. Now it's just being recognized by the right people. And you will start to see people seek you out. Like I said, I think we talked about that earlier, where people are seeking you out. People do want to work with you, and they do trust your judgment. Again, you're going to be going into more self-development with this Strength card. That's what I'm getting with this, is like I feel like you're really on the path of, taking classes, reading more books, going to events, networking with the right people, and really developing yourself, not only professionally, but also mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It's like there's many different layers that you're starting to really see that you can grow, that you can grow in, I should say. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to grow in all areas of your life. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? For the month of January 2020, this is a very positive card, Sagittarius. Actually, these are all pretty positive. We have the Ace of Cups here in reverse, Eight of Swords reverse, King of Cups reverse, Nine of Cups reverse. This is the ultimate wish fulfillment card. So even though it's in the reverse position, whatever you're hoping for, whatever you're wishing for, you're going to get it. It may not be in the time frame that you want, or it may not be to the degree that you want, but it's definitely coming. You'll probably start to see signs of it towards the end of January. You'll start to see little, I should say, I want to say coincidences, but we know there's no such thing as coincidence. But you are going to see little coincidences of things you want starting to show up. Now, this Ace of Cups here means that there is something new starting, but it's also going to probably slow down, if not stop, for a little bit towards the end of January. Could be a new relationship, could be a new passion project. It could be a new job or something where you get the good news like, hey, let's go for it, let's move forward, but then something slows it down or something stops it temporarily. Don't freak out if that does happen. It's just things, shifting behind the scenes, but it's not going to affect you. It's still going to have a good, positive outcome. Eight of Swords, which means you have released those limiting thoughts. You have released limiting beliefs. You are not working against yourself any longer. You have kind of come to that stage of enlightenment where you realize that sometimes you can be your own worst enemy, and you're working hard to kind of shift that mindset, and you're really adopting new beliefs and new ideas that allow you to see things from a bigger perspective. Okay, you're not looking at things small, you're seeing things big, and you're realizing that there really is no one or nothing holding you back other than yourself, and awareness is always the first step. Finally, we have the King of Cups here in the reverse. This means you've got your emotions in check. Sometimes it could also mean disconnecting from your emotions on some level. And when it comes to business and work, sometimes that's necessary. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes when we're at work, we can't get overly emotional, or sometimes it's just not the time nor the place. So you've really got your emotions in check. You've become a lot more emotionally stable, and this has been really good for your mental health as well. You've allowed yourself to really kind of release some emotions that could have been holding you back in some ways, and you've decided now that you're going to use those feelings to kind of move you forward instead of keeping you stuck. So overall, Sagittarius, you've got a very strong month of January ahead of you. Lots of housekeeping, lots of self-development, and things really just shifting in big ways. You're going to feel a lot of movement in January, okay? And the thing is like, it's going to feel a little unsettling temporarily, but when all is said and done, when January comes to a close, you're going to see that you're feeling much more stable, much more grounded, and in a much better position to really tap into those forces that will take you in the direction that you would like to go. So let's go ahead and close out your reading, Sagittarius, with a Wisdom of the Oracle card. Nice. This one is flexible. And I think this is really good for you to remember for January, because while you've got all this movement and big shifts happening, you're going to have to be flexible. You're going to have to kind of go with the flow in a lot of areas. And you're going to have to really just kind of move with it, and not be so rigid, in your thinking, in your behavior, and also in your relationships too. Be flexible and just trust and know that things are happening for you in the right way and in the right time. All right, Sagittarius, well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or observations, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. And private readings are available if you would like to connect with me privately one-on-one. I'll have that information in the description for you below. All right, Sagittarius, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'll definitely see you again next month.